Have you ever stopped to wonder how we see the vibrant world around us? That brilliant blue sky, the lush green of a forest, or the stunning reds and oranges of a sunset? It all seems so simple, right? We just open our eyes, and there it is. But the journey of color from an object to our brain is an incredible, almost magical process. Today, we're going to dive deep into the science behind how our eyes see color. It's way more fascinating than you might think. So, let's start with the basics. To see anything at all, we need light. Think of light as a messenger, carrying information about the world to our eyes. But this isn't just any light, it's a whole spectrum of energy. The light we can see, the visible light spectrum, is just a tiny slice of the entire electromagnetic spectrum, which includes things like X-rays and radio waves. Imagine a rainbow. That beautiful arc of colors is actually visible light broken down into its different wavelengths. Red has the longest wavelength, and violet has the shortest, with all the other colors orange, yellow, green, blue, and indigo fitting in between. When light from the sun or a lamp shines on an object, say, a red apple, something interesting happens. The apple's surface absorbs most of the light wavelengths that hit it. However, it doesn't absorb the red wavelengths. Instead, it reflects them. These reflected red light waves travel from the apple and enter our eyes. So, when we look at an apple, we're not seeing the redness of the apple itself, but rather the red light that the apple decided to send back to us. A blue shirt does the same thing, but it reflects blue light and absorbs the rest. What about a white object? It reflects all the colors. And a black object? You guessed it, it absorbs all the colors. That's why black clothes can feel hotter in the sun. Now, this is where our eyes, these amazing biological cameras, come into play. The light that's reflected off an object enters our eye through the cornea, which is the clear, dome-shaped front part. The cornea bends the light, helping to focus it. Then, the light passes through the pupil, that little black dot in the center of your eye. The iris, the colored part of your eye, controls the size of the pupil, making it smaller in bright light and larger in dim light to regulate how much light gets in. After passing through the pupil, the light hits the lens. The lens is super cool because it can change its shape to fine-tune the focus. It directs the light to the back of the eye, onto a light-sensitive layer called the retina. You can think of the retina as the film in an old-school camera or the sensor in a digital camera. This is where the magic of color vision truly begins. The retina is packed with millions of specialized cells called photoreceptors. There are two main types, rods and cones. They have very different jobs. Rods are incredibly sensitive to light levels and are responsible for our vision in low light conditions. They help us see shapes and movement in the dark, but here's the catch, they can't detect color. That's why in a dimly lit room, everything looks like shades of gray. We have about 120 million rods in each eye. The real heroes of our color story are the cones. We have about 6 to 7 million cones in each eye, and they're concentrated in the center of the retina in an area called the fovea. Cones are what allow us to see the world in glorious technicolor. But not all cones are the same. Most humans have 3 types of cone cells, and each type is sensitive to a different range of light wavelengths. We have long wavelength cones, often called L cones, which are most sensitive to red light. Then we have medium wavelength cones, or M cones, which are best at detecting green light. And finally, we have short wavelength cones, or S cones, which are most responsive to blue light. You might notice this sounds familiar. Red, green, and blue RGB. These are the primary colors of light, the same principle used by your TV or computer screen to create millions of different colors. So, when light from our red apple hits the retina, it primarily stimulates the red-sensitive cones. When you look at a yellow banana, both the red and green cones are stimulated, and your brain interprets this combination of signals as yellow. If you see a cyan or light blue color, your green and blue cones are firing. If all 3 types of cones are stimulated equally, your brain perceives the color as white. It's a bit like being a painter with only 3 tubes of paint: red, green, and blue. By mixing these three colors in different amounts, you can create every other color imaginable. Our brain does exactly that, but with nerve signals instead of paint. Once the rods and cones are stimulated by light, they convert that light energy into electrical signals. This is a process called phototransduction. These electrical signals are then sent from the retina through the optic nerve, which is like a massive data cable connecting your eye to your brain. The optic nerve carries these signals to a part of the brain called the thalamus, which acts as a sort of relay station. From there, the signals are sent to the visual cortex, located at the very back of your brain. This is the brain's main processing center for vision. The visual cortex is where all the raw data, the signals about light, color, and shapes is assembled and interpreted. It's in this final step that we actually see the image and perceive the color. Your brain takes the signals from the red, green, and blue cones, compares their intensity, and says, "Ah, that's a red apple." The brain also does some incredible post-processing. For example, it helps us with something called color constancy. This is our ability to perceive an object's color as consistent, even under different lighting conditions. A banana still looks yellow whether you see it under the bright fluorescent lights of a supermarket, the warm glow of a lamp at home, or in the bluish light of dusk. Your brain automatically adjusts and corrects for the different lighting, knowing from experience what color the banana is supposed to be. It's a truly remarkable feat of neural computation. Now, what happens when this system doesn't work perfectly? This leads to what we commonly call color blindness, or more accurately, color vision deficiency. It's not usually about seeing the world in black and white. Most commonly, it means that one of the three types of cone cells is either missing or doesn't function correctly. The most common form is red-green color vision deficiency. This happens when either the red cones or the green cones aren't working as they should. People with this condition have trouble distinguishing between shades of red and green. To them, a red and a green might look very similar, or like a muddy brown. This condition is much more common in men than in women because the genes responsible for the red and green cones are located on the X chromosome. A rarer form is blue-yellow color vision deficiency, which affects the blue cones. And even rarer still is complete color blindness, or monochromacy, where a person can only see in shades of gray. This can happen if two or all three types of cone cells are absent. So, to recap this amazing journey, light, a spectrum of colored wavelengths, bounces off an object. These light waves enter our eye, get focused by the cornea and lens, and land on the retina. The specialized cone cells in the retina sensitive to red, green, and blue light get activated. They convert the light into electrical signals. These signals travel down the optic nerve to the brain. Finally, the brain processes these signals, mixes them together, and creates our conscious perception of a colorful world. It's an incredibly complex and beautiful system, a perfect collaboration between physics, biology, and neurology that happens every single moment we have our eyes open. The next time you admire a painting, look at a flower, or even just pick out your clothes for the day, take a second to appreciate the amazing process that allows you to experience the rich tapestry of color that makes our world so vibrant. It really is a superpower we all share. Thanks so much for watching and exploring the science of sight with me today. If you found this interesting, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into how our world works. Let me know in the comments what your favorite color is and why. See you in the next video.